maybe Van Brugge
Whoa.
was considering some of these other hands.
Yeah, if he's willing to go with the 10-8 and the hijack. This is ill-advised, Brian?
Yeah, I think this is, I mean, 10-8 off for 7 bigs is not a shove without ICM.
Oh my goodness, he's
with
running
ICM,
the
it's
9s.
definitely a fold.
And the 9s, which have moved all in over the top of him, have in turn run into kings. And
he can't even contain his smile into his, as he sees what's developed.
And once Sinclair moves in, Fanini knows that his hand is...
Just because of the card removal.
Yeah, and we've got another 18 million plus chip pot on our hands here.
Yeah, so Fanini gets this pay jump to 7th as long as, even if Sinclair wins the pot, which is very likely, he will at least and most likely come in 7th.
Oh my God. 2 10s and a jack roll right off, and you can tell Van Brugge's rail is loving it, and not at all entertained are these two men. Wildly improbable. I suspect everybody thinks a queen on the turn is the appropriate sweat. Instead, it's the 4.
I mean, well, you know, when you know that you're flopping trips, I guess moving all in with 10-8 offsuit is the right play.
Unbelievable here as Van Brugge is looking like he is going to triple. Even he can't believe it. Just needs to fade a 9 or a king, and he's done it. 10's full on the river.
Hold the fuck.
Listen, I don't speak Dutch, but I know what that means.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Oh, fuck. Oh.
All right, so Perna here really under the gun. So he has a lot of chips, even though he's not the chip leader, wants to apply some pressure. I think 9-5 suited 7-handed under the gun is too wide, especially considering it's not like he's even the runaway chip leader. There's someone else who actually has more. So he's second now. Van Brugge here, you know,
just flatting the 2 10s?
I gotta say, I don't really like this play. I would just move all in and put my stack at risk. I think Perna's gonna have some hands he's folding. You're sort of happy to take it down with 10s, and it's definitely a strong enough hand that I guess it's like, God bless you if you got this beat. You know, if he moves all in and wins, he's gonna pick up almost 5 million in chips, which is a very significant pickup for him. But
oh my goodness.
Again, when you know you're gonna flop it.
10's full for Van Brugge, no waiting. And Perna's check draws an all in.
Oh my goodness.
Instantly. Oh my goodness, wait a minute. Perna did not check. Perna said all in and just presumed that he would be able to push Van Brugge around, but really the range of hands that Van Brugge would be willing to call and all in here are Jack X, 2 10s, the overpair. All of them are going to have 9-5 in disastrous shape.
Yes, you know,
this is a clear mistake.
Yeah, we saw Van Brugge folding the king-queen in the previous hand, and with king-queen or ace-queen, he actually probably would fold it. That said, I believe you could find out the information for less than all in. One mistake followed up by a much bigger mistake, and now, I mean, this has changed the structure of this final table. And our friend Van Brugge of the 10-8 offsuit now moving into the second in chip position. So she has a chance now to bust a player who she covers, and she has some reasons to think that ace-9 off might actually be a better hand given how desperate he is.
It really is a matter of determining just how wide Sinclair's range is going to be here, and we know that Jack is a professional with stripes, as is Vivian.
I think she'll go with it. But yeah, she's not too happy about it. She'll be pretty happy to see.
Yeah.
Well, yes and no. She would definitely like to see maybe ace-5, which she dominates.
Not sure they're 17 and up, but nevertheless, she has cashed in 9 separate World Series of Poker Europe events. Jack 8-4, and now the gut shot straight draw materializing for Sinclair. The 9 of spades becomes a blocker.
Although Saliba, you can see, despite the fact that it brought a straight draw, her equity actually improved at this point to 67%. So, you know, a slightly above average flop for her, as, you know, really she's trying to fade Sinclair flopping a pair more than anything.
Which she has done successfully, and now with the board pairing, she has a 4-1 edge. Sinclair with just 9 outs once. Will the most accomplished player here at this final table be headed for an exit? He will. Oh, never mind. The 7 binks him. 8s and 7s for Sinclair. And you can see Vivian's disappointment, as she was in such great shape there, and now finds herself
No, I'm all in for 4, not 3.5.
on the short stack.
3.5 is how much I raised, but I had 5 behind.
But you told me 3.5.
Yeah, I raised you, but I had 500 behind.
But there was an all-in thing.
Because you pushed.
Yeah, but you announced 3.5. I called 3.5.
He play 4. He
Yeah,
play
but
4
you
minutes.
said it was all in there. Are you sure? 100%?
Sorry. Yeah.
Well,
I call your all in.
If you're saying so, okay.
ace queen now for Perna off of 23 million.
Perna much more comfortable with this than his Jack 8 off open last hand. Ooh, Van Broek. What will he do with the ace 6 suited? I don't think we can know.
Especially after back-to-back raises from Perna, where we begin to question whether or not our friend is speedy.
Besides the flat.
Yeah. Obviously in rough shape here. Will Giovanni elect to speculate here, getting a price?
At least he has position going for him. I feel like this hand is a little too weak to want to continue, and I like his decision again.
Perna remains heads up and dominant.
Yeah, but this is one of the issues of playing the deuce 4 off, is that even though he has the best hand here, it's very difficult to know that, and can be difficult waters to navigate.
Out of position against 2 players, of course.
Now, Van Broek has a difficult decision here. He does have ace high, which might be the best hand, and a backdoor flush draw, and I do not fault him for calling what amounts to a very small c-bet of less than quarter of the pot. And
he manages to spike a 6 on the turn. What an improbable outcome this is. He leaves Perna with just 7% equity, and after getting called on the flop, Perna does pump the brakes.
So Van Broek here decides to check back, which is very reasonable.
Oh, and it would have been trip deuces had Giovanni managed to find a path to the river.
Wow, he just moved all in.
Oh, this is the second time we've seen what amounts to slightly reckless all-ins here by Perna against Van Broek. And he is covered. All Van Broek needs to do is click call and send Perna to the locker room.
This is a very weird play, in my opinion, with ace-queen. I feel like there's going to be a decent amount of the time where you will check down and ace-queen is the best hand. For example, if Van Broek had any other suited ace that didn't hit the 6, he would just check down and win versus ace-8 high or whatever. It's possible Van Broek could have a hand like king-queen, king-jack with a backdoor flush draw, a similar type of hand, all of which he beats. So to me, turning ace-queen into a bluff here is not the play I would do. I will say this. If he's bluffing, he's trying to get a hand like this, like a 6 or an 8 or pocket 7s or pocket 5s to fold. And those hands would probably call a smaller bet. So if you're going to bluff with ace-queen here, I do actually think this is maybe the size to do it at, because now you're asking for your opponent to make a big call with a small 2-pair. So,
and it's within reason to imagine that they might find a path to an exit with the
yes,
holding.
This is a tough decision for Van Brugge. I don't know what he'll do. Interesting pot. Perna has clearly shown a proclivity to make some wild plays.
Well, so has Van Brugge, and he is sizing his man up here. He does have Perna covered, so even if he clicks call and is wrong, he would still have chips remaining, and you see Perna realizing it is all over, and the Dutchman
17.7.
wins a massive pot and eliminates the Italian in 6th. There's a peek at the payouts. Presented by GGPoker, 122,000 euros is not going to be a shabby outcome for whomever finishes in 3rd, but the ladder is significant up to 2nd place. Talking about 42,000 euros plus. In what looked to be a war of attrition between Van Brugge and Bisset, but now
Can I have a count?
all outcomes feel like they're on the table as Van Brugge has moved all in on the button for 25-5, and Giovanni has woken up with these 2 8s.
Yeah, I don't expect him to fold this. It's interesting because Van Brugge really hasn't moved in with a weak hand yet since we've gotten 3-handed. Maybe finally, it's weird. It's a spot where with queens, he moved all in, didn't get a caller. Maybe was thinking, man, nobody ever calls me. I'm just going to move in next hand. And now, even though he runs into a hand, he's going to be somewhat happy to see that he actually has 2 overcards and nearly 50% equity, which you're probably not expecting very often when you get called with 10-9 offsuit.
Yeah, I think you expect to be up against 2 overs. 2 7s and a 5, and the 8s are looking good. 55 million in the middle. Their turn is a 4, and the light begins to flicker at the end of the tunnel for Van Brugge, who certainly outkicked his coverage with respect to what we might have anticipated his finish to be, given just how short he got. And the deuce on the end. Giovanni has righted a listing ship, eliminating the Dutchman Van Brugge, who should hold his head up high. We both agree that we don't necessarily know what Bisset's perceptions of himself versus Giovanni in this spot are, as we see an all-in and a call, but it does feel like Marius favors himself against Bisset.
Yeah.
And yet he's willing to get it all in with the 2 5s instead of trying to grind his man down, and Bisset indulging here with the ace-4.
Yeah, I think 5s is a example of a candidate that's a really good shove at 15 blinds. You're very happy to deny equity against hands that might not call your all-in, such as, say, like Queen 8, Jack 7. They're not calling a 15 big blind shove, whereas they'll call a smaller bet. So, in some hands that call, such as this. So I think Giovanni, despite wanting to play small ball, just feels, and I think correctly, that 5s is still a hand that just plays very well as a shove.
And it looks very good here on the 7-6 deuce board, where Bisset needs help. 96.2 million in the middle.
A lot of help. This is not a good flop for him. Ooh.
He makes a 4, but does not have the flush draw. Giovanni picks up the open-ender and the diamonds.
Only improves by 1 out because the ace of diamonds went away, even though he picked up 2 4s.
4 outs for the Swissman, and there is one of them. The outpouring of emotion and a stoic Giovanni, as roles have been reversed here in Rosvadov.
Yes, Barry Greenstein shows up in force with the ace on the river. What a card.
Listen, you'd think this thing was over the way these guys are celebrating. There's work left to be done. It's a little more than a 3-point lead, I would say, right now, but nevertheless, as Chikavanu just experienced, the home stretch can be an elusive animal. That finish line. Now.
Oh, wow. I mean, probably calling this. This is exactly.
Yeah. And Bisset looks to close it out with a 1-2 punch sitting on King-9 suited. A dog against the Ace-3 suited. You can see the emotion in Chikavanu as he slammed the call out there.
Yeah, I mean, he was just a huge favorite to win this tournament with 1 to come and got 4 outed.
Is this preordained?
I think Chikavanu's going to win this, and we're going to keep playing a little bit longer. But let's see. I don't know. I feel like we're not done yet. Oh,
Oh my goodness. Jack, 9. Bisset jumps in front.
I feel like I understood what he was saying there. Yeah, man. That.
Chikavanu left to shake his head, but now the developments.
Will Barry Greenstein show up one more time?
Well, it's not just the ace that works, but diamonds as well for Chikavanu.
Minus the 9 of diamonds, of course, but
Molim te Allaha, Allaha molim, Allaha molim sve najviše, Allahu pomisli na nas, Allahu pomisli na nas, Allahu pomisli na nas, Allahu pomisli na nas, Allahu samiluj se, Amilu samiluj se.
Here comes the river.
full house.
Ja man! Ja man!
Emil Bisset is your mini main event champion, and Chikavanu can do nothing.
So who do we think this gentleman is? Is it his brother? Is it his backer? Or is it just a very excited friend who has no financial interest?
I have some very close friends on Earth.
Yeah.
Without a financial interest, not one of them would be showered with this sort of celebration.